What if I told you that her silence is not a strategic move, but actually a test? Yes, she might be going no contact, but not for the reasons you assume. Men frequently make the mistake of believing that women handle relationships using the exact same logic that men use. That is the first error. Women do not play the same game as you. They are mastering a game of emotional chess while you are busy playing checkers. When a woman goes silent, the majority of men panic. They begin to question everything. Did I do something wrong? Is she seeing someone else? Should I reach out to her first? This is where most men fail. They allow fear, insecurity, and ego to push them into chasing her. And let me tell you something, chasing is the quickest way to lose. Here is the reality. When she initiates no contact, she is testing your patience, your emotional control, and most importantly, your value. Women know instinctively that a man who cannot handle her silence is not strong enough to handle her emotions. Harsh? Perhaps. But true? Absolutely. Think about it. Kings demand attention. Leaders crumble when someone does not respond? Of course not. So why should you? When she is also engaging in zero contact, it is not about who breaks the silence first. It is about who maintains their power the longest. This video is not about petty games or manipulation. It is about understanding how to overcome emotional traps. Women respect men who remain composed, confident, and unbothered, even when they are being ignored. She may think she has the control, but true control lies in how you respond to her actions. Stay tuned, because in the following sections, I will reveal exactly what happens when she goes silent, why zero contact works differently for women, and how you can use this situation not only to reclaim your power, but also to make her question her own strategy. If you have ever wondered, what if she goes no contact too? This video is for you. Let's dive deeper into the topic. 1. Silence is her weapon. When a woman goes quiet, it is not always because she is hurt, busy, or uninterested, but because she knows the power of silence. Silence is her ammunition, and she uses it to create doubt, confusion, and longing in your mind. Women understand that emotions drive men more than they are willing to admit. By pulling away and saying nothing, she forces you to overthink. Here is the trick. Women know that men are naturally problem solvers. When you are faced with her silence, your instinct is to figure out what is wrong and fix it. That is what she wants you to do. Chase her to get answers she has no intention of giving. That is how she takes control, without saying a single word. Silence does two powerful things for her. First, it gives her the upper hand. You start to wonder if you did something wrong or if she has already moved on. The moment you doubt yourself, she has control. Second, you shift the focus to her. Instead of her worrying about losing you, you start worrying about losing her. Suddenly, you are the one desperate to reach out. Think of it this way. If someone takes something away from you, you automatically feel it is more valuable. Her silence creates scarcity. You start to miss her text messages, her calls, and even her presence because now they are gone. She knows this psychological trick and it works almost every time. Example, imagine you are texting a woman regularly and suddenly she stops responding. A few hours pass, then a day, and your mind starts to race. Did I say something bad? Is she losing interest? Should I send her another text to make sure everything is okay? You overthink, and before you know it, you send a message you swore you wouldn't send. On the other hand, she sees your text and knows she has you hooked. Her silence made you chase her, and in that moment, the power shifted to her hands. The key is to recognize her silence for what it is, a tactic, not a sign of disinterest. When you understand that silence is her weapon, you stop reacting emotionally and begin to respond with strength and patience. 2. She is testing your patience. When she goes silent, it is not just about taking space, it is about testing you. Women instinctively test men to measure their emotional stability and self-control. Patience is a rare trait in today's world, and she wants to know if you have it. By pulling away and refusing to interact, she is observing how you handle the pressure. Here is the truth. Women do not respect men who are overly reactive. If you text her nonstop, demand answers, or act as if her silence is a personal attack, you fail the test. She wants to see if you have enough confidence to handle the silence without falling apart. The more composed you are, the more attracted she will feel to you. The test is simple. Can you keep calm and focus on your own life, or will you let her absence consume your thoughts? Patience is the answer she is looking for. A man who does not rush to react sends a clear message. I do not get rattled easily. I value myself enough to give you the space you need. This confidence is what sets you apart from other men. Women test patience because they associate it with strength. A man who does not crumble under pressure is a man with whom she feels safe. But if you do not pass the test, she will see you as someone emotionally dependent, and that is a huge turnoff. Example, you have been talking to a woman for weeks, and the connection seems strong. Suddenly, she stops initiating conversations. Days pass, and you notice her replies are shorter and less frequent. You feel the temptation to call her, double text her, or ask her if something is wrong. Instead, you decide to wait. You stay focused on your work, your hobbies, and your goals. After a few days, she sends a message. Hey, how have you been? You've been quiet. That is when you realize she was testing your patience, and you passed. By not overreacting, you showed her that her silence does not control you. It is in these moments that women feel drawn to you because patience is a sign of emotional maturity and power. 3. Why breaking the silence? First makes you weak. Breaking the silence first is one of the biggest mistakes you can make in a no-contact situation. It is not just about who sends the first text or makes the first call, but about what that action represents. When you break the silence first, you reveal your cards, showing her that you are the one who could not handle the discomfort of the silence. Women are naturally attracted to strength, and breaking the silence sends the opposite message. It shows her that you are too invested, that you need her attention or validation to feel secure. Instead of appearing confident and composed, you give the impression of being needy and dependent. And let's be real, those traits do not inspire attraction or respect. Think about it. When she goes silent, you feel the urge to reach out, don't you? That is exactly what she is counting on. Breaking the silence first is not just about texting, it is about giving her the assurance that she still controls the dynamic. And once she knows she has the upper hand, the balance of power shifts completely in her favor. Have you ever noticed that the person who cares the least in a relationship usually has the most power? That is because they are not afraid to walk away or stay silent. Breaking first tells her that you are afraid of losing her. It gives her the peace of mind of knowing that no matter what happens, you will always be the one chasing her. This does not mean you should ignore her forever or play games to win. It means you must understand that holding your ground is a reflection of your self-esteem. If you value yourself, you do not rush to fill the silence with words. You let the situation unfold naturally without forcing it. You can identify with this if you have ever been in a situation where you broke the silence only to feel regretful afterward. Maybe she didn't respond the way you hoped, or worse, she didn't respond at all. That feeling of discouragement is proof that if you crumble first, you put yourself in a vulnerable position where you didn't need to be. The lesson is simple. Don't be the one who collapses under pressure. Strength does not consist of controlling the situation, but of controlling yourself. When you resist the temptation to break first, you prove to her and to yourself that you are stronger than the silence. 4. She wants to see you crumble. Let's make something clear. When she stays quiet, it is not always about taking a break or sorting out her feelings. Sometimes it is deliberate. She wants to see how much you can take before you collapse under the pressure, and if you collapse, she knows exactly where you stand, beneath her. This is the harsh truth. Many women test men to measure their strength, and silence is a powerful tool for that. She is not just watching your actions, she is studying your reactions. If you crumble, send her 2 text messages or beg her to clarify things. You are handing over the control she craves. She does not want an equal. She wants to see if you fall apart like a house of cards. Men, wake up. Too many of you are handing over your power the moment things get uncomfortable. You allow her silence to dictate your emotions, your actions, and even your self-worth. Why? because you are too afraid of losing her. But here is the irony. When you let her see you crumble, you have already lost her respect. Silence is her battlefield, and every time you react impulsively, you are giving her the victory. Women respect men who can handle themselves under pressure, who can remain calm and composed even when things seem uncertain. Crumbling under her silence does not make you look caring, it makes you look weak. It is not about blaming women, it is about holding men accountable. Stop rushing to prove your worth or explain your feelings. Instead, focus on proving something to yourself. Can you endure the discomfort? Can you resist the urge to seek validation? Because if you cannot, you are not only failing her test, but you are failing yourself. Think about it. When she is silent, she is watching and waiting. Not for you to say the perfect thing, but for you to demonstrate who you really are. Are you someone who breaks down when things get tough? Or are you the man who stands firm, unshakable in the face of her tactics? The advice is simple but not easy. Stop reacting. Stand your ground. If she is trying to make you crumble, let her see that you are unbreakable. A man who does not crumble is a man she cannot control, and that is the kind of man who inspires respect and attraction. 5. No contact affects women differently. Let's be clear. No contact is not just a strategy to move on or gain clarity. It is a psychological shift. And here's the truth that most men do not realize. No contact affects women differently. While you might think she is unaffected, checking her phone, or living her best life, the reality is much more complicated. Women process silence in ways that hurt them more than they let on. Why? Because women are wired to seek emotional connection. When you go no contact, you interrupt the dynamic she is used to. Suddenly, the attention, validation, or comfort she received from you disappears. It is not just about her missing your texts or calls, it is about her realizing the emotional void your absence creates. Here is where it gets interesting. At first, she might feel relief, or even a sense of, finally, he is the one chasing me, she thinks. But as the days pass, and you do not give in, that confidence begins to crack. She wonders why you aren't reaching out. Does he not care anymore? Is he moving on? This doubt triggers her insecurities, and before long, the silence becomes unbearable for her. Women often pride themselves on their strength, but silence tests their resilience as much as yours. They replay conversations, overanalyze your behavior, and begin to question their value in your eyes. The beauty of no contact is that it flips the script. Instead of you being the one overthinking and chasing, she becomes the one dealing with the emotional fallout. But here is the catch. No contact is not about playing games or trying to make her miss you. It is about reclaiming your power and focusing on yourself. The moment you pull back and stop chasing, you change the dynamic. Women respect men who do not crumble under pressure or cling to what is slipping away. Remember, the lack of contact is effective because it gives both of you space to reflect. But for her, that space often feels heavier. It forces her to confront what she has lost and ask herself if she is really better off without you. The silence you leave behind speaks louder than any words. No contact is not just a strategy, it is a statement. It is proof that you are strong enough to walk away and secure enough to let her feel the weight of your absence. And believe me, it is a feeling she will not easily forget. 6. Her ego feeds on your reaction. When she stays silent, it is not just a test of patience, it is fuel for her ego. Every time you react impulsively, whether it is a double text, a call to see how she is doing, or even a subtle like on her social media post, it feeds her need for validation. She knows you are watching, waiting, and ultimately putting her at the center of your attention. That is exactly what she wants. This is the uncomfortable truth. Your reaction reinforces her power. The moment you reach out, you are telling her that she still controls your emotions. That reaction, no matter how small, boosts her confidence and assures her that she has you right where she wants you. And the worst part? It makes it less likely that she will respond the way you want. Think about how it plays out. You send her a message after days of silence, hoping to clear things up. What does she do? Either she ignores it, which gives her ego a boost, or she responds with something lukewarm, leaving you even more confused. Either way, your reaction serves her, not you. It is not that all women are manipulative or calculated, but many understand the power of attention. When a man's attention wavers, she gets restless. But when you react, they see it as confirmation that they are still in control. Your emotions become a mirror reflecting her own value, and even if she won't admit it, a part of her thrives on knowing she can provoke that reaction in you. Now imagine this scenario. You stay silent. No calls, no texts, no sudden appearances. She waits, expecting you to crumble, but you don't. At first, she might downplay it, thinking you are just playing hard to get. Then, doubt creeps in. Why isn't he reacting? Did I misjudge him? Is he really moving on? That shift in her mindset is where the true power lies. Not in chasing, but in standing firm. Understand this. Your silence sends a stronger message than any text. It shows her that you value yourself enough to maintain your composure. It forces her to accept the consequences of her own actions instead of feeling reassured by your reaction. 7. The power of remaining unbothered. One of the greatest strengths a man can develop is the ability to remain unshakable. When she pulls away, stays silent, or tests your patience, your reaction, or lack thereof, determines the dynamic of the relationship. Remaining unbothered does not mean you are indifferent or cold. It means you are in control of your emotions, and nothing she does can make you lose your composure. Women are attracted to men who exude calm and control. Why? Because it is a sign of confidence and emotional maturity. When she tries to provoke a reaction, whether through silence, hints, or mixed signals, she is looking for confirmation that you are still emotionally invested. The moment you flinch, overthink, or try to fix things, you are showing her that she has power over you. But when you are not bothered, the script flips. She begins to wonder why her actions are not affecting you. This confusion can spark curiosity, even admiration. It is not about playing games, it is about showing her that you are stable, grounded, and not easily swayed. This level of composure is rare, and that is precisely what makes it so attractive. Think about it. When you keep calm, you project an aura of control. You are no longer chasing or reacting impulsively. You are setting the tone. This creates a sense of mystery and intrigue, something women find irresistibly attractive. They start to wonder, what is going through his mind? Why isn't he reacting like most men would? That curiosity can make her re-engage with you on your terms. Here is where most men fail. They confuse remaining calm with being passive. Remaining calm does not mean ignoring her or pretending you don't care. It means being sure of yourself, maintaining your boundaries, and refusing to let her dictate your emotional state. It is about balance. You are not chasing her, nor are you shutting her out completely. When you master the power of remaining calm, you gain control, not over her, but over yourself. And that is the true victory. Women respect men who are emotionally strong, who do not crumble under pressure, and who can face challenges without losing their cool. So the next time she tries to stir your emotions, pause, take a breath, and remember that your power lies in your ability to remain calm, because a man who cannot be intimidated is a man who inspires respect. 8. Why she is watching. Even in silence, you might think that when she goes silent, it is a sign she has lost interest or moved on, but the truth is, she is still watching. In fact, silence can often be one of the most powerful ways for her to check on you without showing her hand. She hasn't left, and she isn't absent. She is observing. This is the harsh reality. Women are constantly evaluating the men they are involved with, even when they are not actively interacting. Whether it is on social media, through mutual friends, or even through their own intuition, they are watching to see how you respond when they pull away. Silence is not a sign of detachment. It is a moment of observation. She is paying attention to how you behave when she is not around to witness it directly. She is looking for consistency, maturity, and strength. She wants to see if you are still the man she found interesting in the first place. But she is also looking for flaws, inconsistencies, or weaknesses she can use as a reason to justify her silence. It is not that she is waiting for you to fail, but she is testing your ability to keep your feet on the ground. Silence gives her space to process her own feelings and determine if you are the right person for her. It is easy to hide behind words, but silence forces her to face the reality of what you bring to the table without distractions. Therefore, when she is quiet, do not assume it means she is not interested. It means she is looking deeper. She wonders, how will he handle the space I have created? Will he chase me or respect my boundaries? Will he react emotionally or maintain his composure? These are the questions she is asking herself in silence, and the answers you provide with your actions, not your words, will determine if she stays or walks away. Do not fool yourself into thinking silence is an absence. It is far from it. It is a time for her to verify your value, assess your reactions, and discover if you really are the man she wants by her side. When she is silent, she hasn't left. She is just watching and deciding what kind of man you really are when you aren't around to see it. 9. What happens when you ignore her? Here is a wake-up call. When you ignore her, everything changes. It is not just a power move, it is a test of your own self-respect. Most men do not pass this test. They let their emotions control their actions. They chase her, text her non-stop, or even beg for her attention. You cannot expect her to value you if you don't even value yourself enough to hold back when it matters. Ignoring her is not about being childish or playing petty games. It is about asserting your worth. When you react to her silence with desperation, you show her that she is the one in control. She controls the narrative and she knows it. She can walk away and you will fight to bring her back. But when you choose to ignore her, you take control of the situation, not her. Most men get carried away by their emotions and panic when she pulls away. They think, if I reach out one more time, maybe she will talk to me. That is exactly what she wants you to think. You aren't doing yourself any favors. Ignoring her does not mean ignoring your feelings. It means making a conscious decision not to let her behavior dictate your emotions. It is difficult, without a doubt. At first, it feels unnatural. You might even question if it is the right decision. But this is the reality. Ignoring her forces her to reflect on what she is truly missing. Your silence is more powerful than any message you could send. When you ignore her, you stop being Plan B, the easy target. You stop being the guy who is always available when she feels like paying attention. Do not confuse silence with weakness. Actually, it is a sign of strength. When you ignore her, you demonstrate that you are not desperate for her attention. You respect yourself enough to walk away if she doesn't meet you halfway. You make it clear that you are not a safety net. You are someone who knows his worth and is not afraid to let her discover if she wants to be part of your life. Wake up, guys. When you ignore her, you put her in a position where she has to come to you. If she is truly interested, do not chase her. Make her see that she is chasing you. You have to stop being the guy who is always running after her. Ignoring her is not a game. It is simply you regaining control and showing her that your time and attention are valuable. 10. How to flip the script and regain control. Listen carefully, because this is where most men get it wrong. You have the power to flip the script at any moment. When she goes quiet, pulls away, or acts like she is losing interest, you might feel like you are losing control, but that is exactly the moment you can seize control and redefine the dynamic. Here is the truth. When you do not act desperate, when you stop chasing her and start focusing on yourself, you change the narrative. Right now, she might think she has the power. She is probably testing your reactions, your patience, and your commitment. But the moment you stop reacting emotionally, the moment you start putting your energy into the things that matter most, your growth, your life, your goals, you have simply flipped the script. It is not about playing or pretending to be someone you are not. It is about recognizing your own value and putting yourself first. Women are attracted to men who are self-sufficient, emotionally independent, and who do not fall apart when things get tough. If she pulls away, you do not chase her. You focus on your own growth. Work on your fitness, your career, your passions, whatever makes you better. That is how you regain control of your life and, in turn, regain control of the relationship. But here is the trick. When you are not desperate for her attention, when you stop showing your hand, she starts to wonder what is happening. The mystery of that is what draws her back. Again, women are wired to be curious about men who do not react immediately. When you become emotionally distant in a healthy way, you force her to face the reality of what you bring. She starts to wonder, why isn't he chasing me? Doesn't he care? Is he seeing someone else? In that moment, the power shifts. She starts thinking about what she is losing, and that is when her interest peaks. It is not about manipulation, but about self-respect and emotional discipline. Stop giving her the satisfaction of your emotional responses. Instead, give her space to miss you, to wonder if she is making a mistake. Your silence, your carefree attitude, and your focus on your own life create a magnetic force that will make her see you in a new light. This is the truth no one wants to admit. Chasing makes you weak. The moment you start chasing, you lose. You might think you are playing the game, but really, you are just setting yourself up to be emotionally drained and disrespected. A real man does not chase, he attracts. And that attraction begins when you stop running after her validation and focus on building your own life. You have to realize this: if she isn't chasing you, it is a clear sign. Do not make excuses. Do not justify her silence. Either she is interested or she is not, and you deserve someone who shows it. Now, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment and